Well, it's September in the vegetable garden, and I want to show you what we've got going on. Things are kind of slowing down. I've been doing a little bit of harvesting. We cut a bunch of lemon verbena today. That's going to go up and dry. As you can see, I've got a little tie here. Love my lemon verbena tea. We've got a bunch of tomatoes here. I've got tomatoes in multiple locations this year. This was my tomato bed last year. And we kind of overwhelmed this area with tomatoes, so I ended up planting 3, and they did okay. But I think I'm going to let it age for a little while. So picked a few tomatoes today. These are interesting ones. I haven't tried those before. Not even sure what they're called. They're still doing pretty well. So we got a few things happening out here. This is a bed that one of the people that lives up here uses, and I wanted to talk about the use of raised beds. If you're going to go to all the effort of building raised beds, then you really ought to consider utilizing the raised beds for the types of plants that really are beneficial and don't overwhelm a bed. For instance, he's got a few things in here that were just totally over the top this year. We've got pumpkins, and there's nothing wrong with planting pumpkins, but the pumpkins should have been planted over there or over here, someplace out of the bounds of the really concentrated soil. You can fix up the soil in a little area and you can get one good pumpkin plant growing, but when you plant a pumpkin in the bed, it owns the whole bed. It just sort of dominates everything. He had corn in here as well, and that was you don't use your good beds. The things you want to put your good beds for are the plants that you use, the plants that you really eat. We go through a lot of kale. And I want to also talk about the time of the year we're kind of putting things to sleep. Now, a lot of people don't understand what I mean by putting things to sleep. Soil is alive. And if you use it and use it and use it and use it, the soil quality goes down. Now, you're constantly adding amendments and adding nitrogen. You're adding, steer manure or chicken manure or whatever you want to. But there's a whole lot more to soil science than just feeding the soil. So what we've got going on here is we're mulching the top of the soil. In some areas, we actually put down a layer of newspapers and cardboard, and we're keeping it wet because rock-hard clay-type soil or soil that is dead can become almost like a rock, and you want that to be really alive. So we're going to let it sit like this for probably a couple of months. I can't give up on everything, so I've got a lot of plants here that are just barely limping along. They're in the last stages, like the kale here. I really ought to just pull these plants, but I can still get another salad out of it. I can still get a little bit more out of this. Look at all this. And you know what? You keep getting new ones that are coming up. So at some point you have to bite the bullet and say, start over. Clear cut, get it all out of here. And you know what? This is a good thing. And we're improving the deer fencing back over here this year, which is going to be really, really nice. We've added another gate over on that side of the yard, so we have access from 2 locations. This is our herb garden, and it's perennial. It keeps going every single year. We have things that are happening in here. We cut them way, way back, and they just keep erupting. This side over here, we've kind of got the longest living kale plant that I've ever seen. This is going on 5 years now. This plant just survives. I keep cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, and it keeps throwing out new shoots. This is the Dino Kale, and you've probably seen it in some of my past videos, but it's a good hardy kale. I'm blown away. I haven't got the heart to get rid of it. It's just got a lust for life, and it's doing quite well. So this time of year, think about putting your garden to sleep for a little while, but there are some things that you can plant. We do have a bed over here that's got some onions planted in it. It's all mulched, but we have onion seeds and we've got set onions in here. And this is a good time of the year to do some of those plants. Garlic is a good time of year to plant your garlic. There's a lot of leafy greens that are your substance plants in your home kitchen garden. I don't have any lettuce left growing. I do have some at my other garden, so that's keeping me going. So, how's your garden going? Leave me some comments. Let me know what's happening in your neck of the woods.